Hi, everybody. Welcome to Talking Books with Tanisha, Season 3. I am really excited about this episode. This season, I'm really focusing on the impact of the banned book movements that are happening across our country, um, taking time to really think about the books that I've been reading and sharing with you all the last couple of seasons, and also what it means to not have access to books that affirm our youth and our adult identities, and what it means to show value. I think literature is a really powerful tool where we have a chance to share stories that we are personally experiencing, and also stories that are really different from ours. The idea of windows and mirrors, and I've really been intentionally thinking about which books do I want to display this season. We also have some really great guests that are going to be joining us and talking about some of the impacts that their stories have. I'm trying to find opportunities to share stories that hopefully are a little familiar, or if not, even if they're brand new to you, that you'd be interested in reaching out and supporting these authors, and also buying the books and reading them, of course, and sharing them with other people. So this time I decided to choose a book that I found really kind of a backwards way. Usually I find the book first, and then usually I watch the show or the movie after. But a really dear friend of mine recommended the Netflix show Heartstopper, and just told me like it's really different from the title. Like you're not really going to know what you're kind of going into. It's a really good show. And I watched it. There are 2 seasons that are currently showing on Netflix. And I binged them over a couple of days and just found myself first, I think, kind of really taken away with the story, and really caught up in the story of Charlie and Nick, who I'll talk about in just a second, and also finding myself kind of being tense a little bit during the whole show, waiting for that kind of awful thing to happen. And I realized that that's what happens when we are having a chance to hear stories or have stories be displayed that are not mainstream. They're always like in the kind of mainstream acceptance for whatever reasons, mostly because of bigotry and xenophobia. But the idea that there could actually be a story that just has love and sweetness and kindness with it allowed me to just kind of check myself around the expectation of the fact that we don't have to live our oppressions, that we can also live our celebrations and our joys. So I'm really excited to be able to share with you today Heartstopper. Heartstopper is by Alice Oseman, who is based in England and is an author and also a graphic novelist. Heartstopper itself is comprised of 4 current graphic novels. I actually was so excited after I watched the show, I went out and bought the whole set. I'm going to show it to you real quick. You'll be able to see it super well because of my background. This is the box set. You can kind of see I have it right here, and I have this big, huge box of books. I'm trying to make sure, there you go, it's right there, perfect. So you have a chance to see the books that I have. There are 4 in here. And these books go in order. They pick up the stories as a kind of a continuous story. If you watch the show, you'll find it to be very much like the graphic novel, but the graphic novels go deeper into some of the more serious subjects and more into the character development of who these really great people are. So let me talk about them. So we have a chance to learn a little bit about 2 people. Here's what the tagline is for this book series. Boy meets boy, boys become friends, and boys fall in love. And with that simple, those 3 simple sentences, we are taken on an adventure with Charlie and Nick. Charlie, who in the book anyway, is actually popular, was actually forced to come out as gay, and then kind of endured some bullying, some pretty harsh bullying because of that. But also is still a kid that people really seem to like. But he did go through like some really hard times, and that's going to come up because he also is going to be struggling with some mental health issues because of that bullying, because of the way in which his identity was forced to come out before he was ready to share. Nick is the person that he has a chance to meet. They meet in class. And one of the favorite lines is like the simple, it's just hi, hi. Like they like to say hello to each other. That happens throughout the stories. And it's also kind of the beginning of their friendship and also later on their relationship. Nick is a rugby player who has never even thought about whether or not he's attracted to boys. He's always been attracted to girls until he meets Charlie. And we kind of watch him go through his kind of questioning around who he is and his identity, kind of figuring out like how he identifies. And it's really important for him to figure out what that means for him. And we kind of watch that struggle. And Charlie is also kind of watching that, but also really supportive of that. Charlie identifies as gay, Nick identifies as bisexual. And what that means is they are coming out amongst their friends and families is, I think, a very realistic story. There's some parts that are kind of painful to read. There's some parts that are really beautiful to read, but it feels very realistic. And I think there are opportunities to think about what it means to be in a relationship at this age. Charlie is 14, Nick is 15, and we have a chance to kind of follow them through their relationship. It's really, really beautiful. One of the things I really like about the way the author portrays these stories is that she uses very chromatic colors. And so like it's kind of a greenish color. I'll try to see if I can show it to you on here, but you can kind of see it behind me. Actually, if you look right over here in this one, this green is the green that all of the pages are actually in. So it's different kind of like little bit lighter shades of green. And that is how the whole series is written, is that kind of greenish color, which keeps it very muted because you need to focus on what's happening with the characters and focus what's happening with the story. Your emotions will be pulled, your interests will be pulled, you'll be leaning in. And just when I thought I was done, because there's a lot of things that are happening in this story. We have a chance, of course, to meet Charlie and Nick, but they also have friends. And Nick has friends that are traditionally very, I would say, considered very masculine, kind of stereotypical, like, athlete people. Homophobia is a part of this story, so we start seeing some of that in here as well. Charlie has a friend who is trans and came out as trans in an all-boys school the year before and then transferred to an all-girls school. And we have a chance to kind of watch Elle's development. We also get a chance to watch the connection between Charlie's friends, who are all really very different personality-wise, and how they react to Nick, and kind of the protectiveness they have around Charlie, because they're not quite sure who Nick is yet. So Nick has some work to do around gaining their trust. Just when we think that these 4 books are done, there's some novellas that kind of go into the middle of this. So the first novella that goes in, it's and kind of, I would say it's in between, I don't want to guess, based on what I was reading, I think it's in between 3 and 4, but it's happening around the holiday times. Charlie is struggling with, like I said, mental illness and has some things that are happening. I'm not going to spoil what's going on with Charlie. You have a chance to kind of discover that for yourself. But he has a chance to be home with his family during a winter time, during the winter holidays. And so Alice Oseman wrote a novella called This Winter. It's very quick read, but it's really powerful, and it's very emotional, and it's very, I think, personal to Charlie's story. We have a chance to go deeper into Charlie and his sister. Actually, she talks a little bit about kind of what her impressions are, and then we have a chance to see the two of them together during this kind of difficult time. So this is one that I bought after I finished reading the 4 books, because I was like, I know there must be something else, because I think there's still more to tell about Nick and Charlie's story. And I found this actually at the Page 2 bookstore. And I saw it, I was like, I have to get it. I have to get it right now. So I did. And then I was like, wait, I keep looking at all these, because one of the things they do in the back of the graphic novels is that she kind of does a preview of the other books that are coming. And I kept seeing this Nick and Charlie graphic novel, which I mistook for being like just the Heartstopper books, but it's not. There's another novella called Nick and Charlie. And this is actually, these 2 are not graphic novels, although they do have graphics in them. They're more actual, like, traditional chapter books. So Nick and Charlie is this book, and this is what happened. So Nick is older than Charlie, and Nick is going to be graduating. So this is happening after the 4th book. Once you get past the 4th graphic novel, you're going to want to read Nick and Charlie. And this story goes into like talking about the relationship. What happens next when one of your your relationship, one person is like going off to university? Like, what happens next? So like kind of dealing with that transition. But here's the most exciting part, because I was like, well, there must be something else, right? Is anything else coming? Well, guess what, everybody? In December, the 5th copy, the 5th issue of Heartstopper, the 5th and final one, will be coming out. So you should probably go ahead and pre-order that now at your local bookstore. Ask for Heartstopper 5. There's more to come. So like nice little, I think, I'm not sure how it's going to finish, but I'm really excited about seeing how the story of Nick and Charlie conclude. And let me tell you why it matters that we're reading these stories, especially right now, because where else can our youth who are questioning themselves around their identity, who don't have other people to look at for models around what it means to be happy and in love and be queer, what it means to celebrate just love and simplicity and friendship, where else are they going to find these books if we take these books off the shelf? These are the books that are really important to put into the hands of not just the students who or the kids who are looking at themselves and wondering who they are, like Nick is, but also the students and the kids. Thinking about schools and thinking about youth in general. Also, the youth who are like, I just don't know. Like I don't know enough about the stories to really understand what that means. And we want to make sure we're building awareness and building acceptance and not building opportunities to shut down things we don't understand. And I feel like she does a really great job of helping us understand and helping us engage in a story that is real and realistic and true and very heartfelt. So I don't want these books to be books that are not available for our youth or for our adults. I want these books to be available for everyone. We got to work on why we're trying so hard to control what books are in the hands um, of our young ones in our schools, thinking about the impact that happens when people who don't see themselves reflected in books, what that means also. There are many people who can identify with Nick and Charlie, and there are many people who need to read these books because they're really great books. So if you're interested in a book and not sure where to start, and you really like graphic novels, even if you don't, but you're open to trying graphic novels, I want to recommend Heartstopper. Great stories, beautiful illustrations, really sweet story. I hope you'll pick it up. And I hope that you will find and go ahead and pre-order your fifth issue, which will be coming out in December. I'm really excited about that. And don't forget to get the novellas as well, because nice little to have a nice little accompaniment with these stories. It's great to add it to the Heartstopper series. Thanks for tuning in to Talking Books with Tanisha. Please make sure that you like and subscribe this and share it with your friends. Share it big and wide. It's important for getting our voices out there. There are lots of really great people doing really great things around keeping books accessible and trying to fight for that. So I wanted to add my name to that list that I am pro banned books. I love reading banned books and they shouldn't be banned. They should just be accessible. So until next time, I will see you later. Thanks so much for being here today. Have a beautiful day and keep reading.